everyone, it's Shannon and welcome back to my channel, The Daily DIYer. I'm not gonna lie, I am extremely nervous about this video today and you'll find out here soon why. But basically, this is the mystery box challenge. And what that means is several of us YouTubers put mystery items into a box, send them to each other, we have to unbox them and then figure out what to do with them to create amazing crafts to share with all of you. Now this challenge this month is a little bit different. Usually we do Dollar Tree. This month we're doing a $15 anything goes. And also, two of the items in the box are always challenge items. And those two items mean they're probably something extra unique that probably take a little bit more thought process to figure out, and we actually have to use those items. So thank you to Courtney from Creative on the Cheap for hosting this mystery box challenge. She also is the one who sent me my box, and if you do not remember back with the last challenge that we did, I sent my box to Courtney. My challenge items were pretty crazy, and actually one of those challenge items made it onto her biggest fail of 2020 video. So if you guys want to go back and watch, I will put those videos down in the description box. And I didn't think it was that big of a fail, but it was hilarious nonetheless. I already know she warned me that she was going to be the one to send me this challenges box, and that I better watch out because her challenge items were gonna be pretty tricky. So I have the box right here from Courtney, and I have not looked in this box. I have no idea what's in here, so I'm gonna open it with you guys. So right on top is actually some really cute scrapbook paper, 12 by 12 size, and she's good since we had a $15 limit. She found these on clearance for $3.59, so that's a really good deal for 50 sheets of this really cute cardstock. All right, next looks like a little goodie bag with a card in it. So inside is some hand sanitizer that says stress relief. Definitely needing that, and some chocolate, so that is so sweet, thank you. So her sweet letter says, Shannon, 2020 has been rough, but I'm so thankful that you two brought us together. You are a shining light and truly an inspiration to me. I can't wait to see what you bring in 2021. I know it will be great. Thank you for doing another round of the Mystery Box Challenge. Much love, Courtney. P.S. Please remember all the kind words I said when you open your challenge items. And P.S.S. 2021 will be when Spence and I come visit you and Brian. Yes, so hopefully this summer they're gonna make a trip up here and we will actually all get to hang out together. We have so much fun on like video chat and stuff like that, so I can't wait for the husbands to meet. Courtney and I have already gotten 2 trips together this past year, so that'll be so much fun. All right, so this one is in a gold bag and it says challenge item number 2, open last. So I'll save that one. This one says challenge item number 1. I will save that for before I open the other challenge item. They're all wrapped so cute. Oh my gosh, so first up is one of these plant hangers from Dollar Tree. I actually sent my box to Jennifer over at Little Bit of Common Crazy, and I sent her one of these too. So make sure to check the link in the description box to the playlist because you'll get to go through and see all of the different things we sent each other, and you'll get to see Jennifer's box and what I sent her too. Oh my gosh, I'm excited about these. I didn't see these at my Dollar Tree. They're garland hearts, and Jamie over at the Crafty DIY Guy posted this on his Instagram, and I was like, oh, I wish our Dollar Tree had these, but thank you, Courtney. Now I do. I would sign Dollar Tree. It says thankful on the front. I love the wood on it. Not necessarily the clouds on the side, but this will be a cute base of something. And she knows I love woodworking, so these are wood pile medium-sized birch discs. This is super cute. It is a buffalo check towel. A cute little frame. It has a little spot on the front where you can put a little tag in it. Oh, this is cute. It's a star. It's actually really cute for wintertime or Christmas. It's like an ornament. It's got a little deer and a tree on it. This one's wrapped up in tissue paper. Well, I already have to DIY this thing before I can use it. I'm not sure. It says it's a Victorian candle holder and the little foot popped off, but that's an easy fix and it's super cute, so I'm definitely gonna find something to do with this. Some glitter letter stickers. Love these. Oh, and some cork. I actually needed some of this. So awesome. I already know what I'm going to do with this. Now for the moment of truth that I've been worried about for like a month and a half now are these challenge items. So this is actually in a cute bag, so that's a little promising. All right, so this is already a challenge. I can't even get into the bag, so I had to jump up and get scissors to open the bag. I'm sure that wasn't part of it, but okay, so here's challenge item number 1. It is a set of 4 bath sponges. Yeah. I have no idea what I would do with these. I've never looked at these and been like, I can DIY with those, so I'm really gonna have to get creative with this. And now, number 2 challenge item. Oh my God. So this is kind of similar to what I said. Oh my gosh, it's a little neon faux fur keychain with wiggly eyes. You are hilarious. Oh my heavens. Okay, well, yeah, I'm like looking at this thing going, I don't have a clue in the world. So stay tuned. I'm gonna take a few days, figure out my game plan for all of these items. I'll come back and we will do some amazing DIYs. First up is this buffalo plaid sign, and we're going to be using the scrapbook paper and grapevine heart along with a Dollar Tree pre-made sign. I went ahead and measured the opening of the sign and then cut my scrapbook paper down to size. Once I had it fitting perfectly in there, I used a combination of glue dots and stick glue to make sure that the paper would stay in place. And then I started working on my cute little moss heart. So I'm using my grapevine heart and also some green moss from Dollar Tree. I just used my hot glue to pack the moss around the edges of the heart so I wouldn't lose the heart shape, and then hot glued that onto the front of my sign. For the wording at the bottom, I just printed off the saying, "Love you more" on some brown craft paper, and then used my paper trimmer to trim it down to size. I kind of wanted this to look like a wooden plaque, and it also sort of matched the wood around the frame of the sign. And so I also wanted it to kind of have a distressed look, so I took a black ink pad and went around all of the edges. And then also, once I had it hot glued onto the front of the sign, I took a black marker and added little dots on the corners to kind of look like nail holes. It is time for the emoji of the day, which is a heart. Please leave me your favorite colored heart down in the comment section below. If you do not have emojis, you can just leave the word love. Now for this cute farmhouse style cloche, I'm using the little pedestal that Courtney had sent me in my box. And I wanted to start by just cleaning it up. I took my dryer to get the tag off of the front, and then of course I had to repair that leg. So I just used my hot glue to attach it back on. Now to give it more of a farmhouse look, instead of the gold, I decided to paint the entire thing white using my white chalk paint and a foam paintbrush. I did have to kind of get down into all of those grooves and give it a couple coats so that it had a more solid white finish. So the white was definitely looking much more like my style, and then I have a few extra accessories we're going to add to the top of this. The clear dome on the Dollar Tree cloches actually fit this stand perfectly. I got really lucky with the vision that I had for this, and the metal house is from Target Dollar Spot, and then I just added a few little greenery pieces around the edge. I did have to kind of fiddle with it quite a bit to get it all to tuck inside there, but once I did, it gave it a really cute and pretty look. Now for some farmhouse style salt and pepper shakers. I wasn't quite sure what to use these stickers for, but I had these 2 salt and pepper shakers from Dollar Tree handy, so I decided to give them a farmhouse look using my white chalk paint. I just gave them all 2 coats of that and let them dry. I do want to say, like, if you're going to put actual salt and pepper in these, it's probably safe since the paint is on the outside. You just want to be careful when you go to wash them. To finish them off, I added the lids back to the top and then tied some black and white twine around the lids and added my stickers onto the front. I was so excited to finally make this project. I'd had it in my head for a long time, so we're going to be using the towel and plant hanger that was from the mystery box along with a cutting board from Dollar Tree. I'm starting by adding holes to all 4 corners of the cutting board. You want to make sure your holes are big enough that your plant hanger strings will fit through them. Also, make sure you're coming in and sanding anywhere where you are cutting or drilling holes to make sure you do not have any splinters. Next, we're going to be making the towel bar hanger here. So I have a paint stir stick that I'm cutting down to 3.5 inches long. You will need 2 of these. Make sure to sand those ends as well. And then we're also going to need to cut down a dowel rod to size. So I just kind of set up how wide my piece was going to be and made sure my dowel rod was just a little bit wider than that. I'm using my hand saw and miter box to cut this dowel rod down to size. I'll make sure to link this along with other products that I use throughout this video down in the description box below. Most of them you can find for really inexpensive on Amazon. Now we need to drill holes into our paint stir sticks. You just want to make sure that your holes are big enough that your dowel rod will slide through. So here's all the pieces that you should have: a cutting board, a dowel rod cut down to size, 3.5 inch long paint stir sticks with holes cut into the bottoms. Now we can start building our hanging shelf. So I untied most of the plant hanger. I left it to where each corner will have 2 strings total. Now you just kind of want to adjust. You'll see me kind of hanging it up against the wall to gauge about how much I need to pull the front and the back before tying my knot. You want your back strings to be a little bit shorter than the front ones so that it will hang level. Now to create our towel bar, I'm hot gluing the paint stir sticks onto the shorter edges and making sure that the hole is down at the bottom. I repeated this on both sides. And to finish the assembly, I actually put a screw hook into the wall and then hung the O-ring from the plant stand or the plant hanger on that hook and inserted the dowel rod through the holes in the paint stir sticks to create that towel bar. I also wanted to give you an up-close look of what the assembly of this looks like before I added any embellishments. had wanted a little memo station next to my desk for quite a while now, so when Courtney added the cork and frame to my box, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with them. I started by using some cardstock and cutting it down to size so it would fit into that little label section. I had these rub-on words or phrases from Dollar Tree and decided to use that for my little insert. Now to add the cork to the inside, I took my frame apart. We're not going to need the glass, but I did use the paper as a sizing guide, and I drew that onto the cork and cut out 2 sizes and attached those 2 together to give me a double thickness of cork for me to be able to add the push pins into. I also dressed up some average push pins or thumbtacks with some paper flowers that I had on hand. I just glued the flowers right onto the backs of the thumbtacks and added them to my cork. Next, we're going to make this rustic trivet that you could use for decorative purposes or in your kitchen. I'm going to be using the leftover cork from the last project and these wood discs. And I'm starting by tracing a wood shape that I had. It was a 5-inch in diameter, and I just traced it onto the cork and cut that circle out. Next, I went through and pre-arranged all of my discs around that cork so I had a nice shape before I came in with my hot glue and made them permanent. This is a quick and simple, cute little succulent garden using that wooden sign from my mystery box along with some rope and succulents from Dollar Tree. I started by hot gluing my nautical rope all around the frame. Now we're going to make this rustic candlestick, starting with that star from the mystery box as the base. I wanted to cover up the deer and the tree and give it sort of a hammered metal type look. So I taped off all the way around the star where it was white and preserved the wooden border because I really liked that part. To get that galvanized metal look, I'm starting with a base coat of a dark gray, and then while it was still sort of wet and it hadn't dried all the way, I took a sponge and sponged on a combination of a lighter gray along with some of that same darker gray and pounced that all over the star. And while that was still wet, then I came in with little touches and hints of the black. Then I wanted it to look like the metal had been hammered down onto the wood, so I took a black marker and added little nail dots to all of the corners. And now we can start working on our candle holder. So the pieces I'm using are a round wooden piece along with 2 different candle cups that you can find at Hobby Lobby, and then I layered and hot glued those all on top of each other on top of the star. The candle that I'm using for this project is a battery-powered emergency candle from Dollar Tree that I wrapped with some jute. It's part of one of my 5-minute DIY videos that I will link down in the description box below. It'll be a fun one to watch next, as all of those projects are really inexpensive and super quick to make. This was one of my challenge item projects, so this one is using those bath poofs from Dollar Tree. Also, the frame and metal piece are from Dollar Tree too. First, I started by taking the glass, the back, and the insides out. We won't be needing those. You'll also need to remove the metal pieces that kind of keep those all in place. So the look I was going for here was to create a faux metal mesh for the inside. So I stretched and took apart one of the bath poofs and held it in place with some dowel rods and some hot glue to the inside edges of the frame. Then I went around the edges and cut off all of the excess to leave me with that pretty purple middle. Of course, we needed to take care of that, and to get that metal look, I'm using my gray chalk paint, and I just entirely painted everything. Not just the mesh, but also the frame. I flipped it over and did the back too, and made sure to get the dowel rod so it all blended together. I thought it would be cute to give my metal welcome piece a wood background. So this is a wood plank from Dollar Tree that I'm just painting with some brown paint. Once it was dry, I hot glued it onto the front and top of my frame. And then to attach the welcome, I wanted it to stand out a little bit, so I'm using some foam adhesives that you can also get from Dollar Tree. They are pretty large, so you can actually just cut them down to size so they hide behind the metal pieces, and then you just stick it right down onto the top. And to make this functional, I'm adding these teeny tiny mini clothespins. They're the perfect size to kind of slip down into the mesh that I used for the backing. And you just clip them right into the mesh, and then you can add your little notes to the front. Now on to this cute little guy. It took me a long time to figure out what I was going to do with him. So the first thing I did was take his eyeballs off, and I also gave him a haircut. So he was just basically a neon colored pom-pom hanging from a keychain. So the only cute thing I could come up with was to turn him into a tassel. So I have some yarn from Dollar Tree. I'm using one of the wood planks from Dollar Tree as my template, and I wound the yarn around it long enough that I knew I could conceal my little pom-pom guy at the top. I kind of just played around with this until I figured out to just lay the string on the countertop and tie a string around the top that kept the top together. And then I put my pom-pom guy down in the middle and pulled the strings all around him to kind of conceal him inside. I wrapped more yarn around and around underneath him to create that tassel look. I cut the excess off the bottom so they were all even and level, and then I added a keychain to the top. These challenges are so much fun. I'll make sure to link down in the description box more that you can see in today's challenge. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.